Okay, thank you so much for being here. Welcome. This is All-Collegiate Choir, and my name is Ronnie Zanella, and I'm very happy to be sharing our music with you tonight. And you just heard a piece called Adiemus by Carl Jenkins, and I don't know if you know this melody, but it was featured in a commercial by Delta Airlines in the 90s. So, and between ourselves, we call this the Delta song. So, the next song we're gonna be, and choir can start moving down. The next song we're gonna be singing is, the next two songs actually, they are staples of two very old religions. So the first one is an Ave Maria, and the next piece is going to be an Orthodox famous text. And what I love about this Ave Maria is that it's by one of my favorite composers, Heitor Villa-Lobos. I was born and raised in Brazil, and Villa-Lobos is one of the most famous composers from my country. And the cool thing about this is most of the Ave Marias are in Latin, but we're actually singing this in Portuguese. So, and I don't know how much fun they had learning Portuguese, but I had a lot of fun teaching them Portuguese. And I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Sanda Masic, and I actually come from the same country where our next piece comes from. Just a few words about the composer and the piece. So Stevan Stojanovic Mokranjac was a very famous Serbian composer from the country of Serbia in Eastern Europe. He was very famous for his choral pieces and as well as a choral conductor that he was. The next song is the song about cherubims, which were the angels that were closest to the God, and how we believe in that in Orthodox religion. And those songs were sung in Orthodox circles ever since the 6th century, since the Orthodox religion is very old. Same as all of those, this one symbolizes the arrival of Christ to Jerusalem. And every time Orthodox Christians from Serbia sing this song, we are trying to let go all the negative energy and pray in peace. I hope you will enjoy this piece.
While I try to adjust my vest here. Next piece we're going to be singing is, you might know this, is by a famous composer, All-Collegiate. It's called Ubi Caritas, and you can see the translation in the program. Please, if you haven't read that, it's a beautiful text. It's a very old and ancient text. And the twist of this one is that we're doing it with the piano. Usually it was originally composed by choir only, unaccompanied. But we have an amazing accompanist with us, Andrew, and we're going to be doing this piece with the piano. I hope you enjoy this Ubi Caritas by All-Collegiate. or our last number tonight, and I'm gonna invite my friend Paul Robinson to sing a solo, and this is "I'll Be on My Way" by Sean Kirshner. And if you heard Kirshner songs before, they have a bluegrass feel to it, so it's very danceable and very fun. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for coming, and stick around because we have Varsity after this. So thank you.
While our next choir is getting set, I just want to talk a little bit about some of the information and the why of this next section. I've been wanting so long to do a concert of music by women composers sung by a men's chorus. And it just seemed like this was the right time to do it. And it's very important that this all transpires. I used to call it music by historically underrepresented demographics, but now I say it's historically excluded demographics. And nothing starts it out better than talking about the very beginning of the UNL choral program, led by an amazing musician named Ermina Cochran, often known as Minnie Cochran. And she was formidable, to say the least. Well, as would have it, as you could imagine, she was teaching, and they put her in a small little room with some other guy, and well, as fate would have it, they liked each other and they got married. But the tragic part about it, her brilliance prepared all of these major works for the choral department, and her husband conducted them all because that was just the thing to do. And then followed, after her wonderful time, she was followed by Carrie Bell Raymond, another amazing historical presence in the UNL choral department. She did things like brought the Chicago Symphony to the University of Nebraska, and what was then called the Minneapolis Symphony, but is then turned into the Minnesota Orchestra. Just amazing, amazing work. And so I just think that it's just fun that we kind of celebrate, especially during Women's History Month, some of these important things. Well, it's also pretty exciting to me that we take one of these early pieces. Our first piece is by St. Hildegard. And not your typical composer. Her life filled most of the 1200s, the 12th century, in the 1100s. She was a pretty formidable human herself. She was not only a visionary, but she was also a mystic. She wrote poetry, studied medicine, and went around forming monasteries and abbeys along the Rhine, and centered in this beautiful little town, Bingen, on the Rhine, just north and west of Frankfurt. And she was one of the few women that ever wrote the Pope, and the Pope wrote back. That was unheard of at the time. And another really strong attribute is she wrote more chant that survived today than any other person that they've ever found. And so it just really excites me that these men behind me have kind of bought into this chant thing, and they really sing it rather beautifully. In a non-COVID world, I take a high school honor choir to Europe every summer, and we try to end every one of our concerts at the Abbey Church of St. Hildegard von Bingen. And one of the fondest memories I get there, and I'm always waiting for it, we start singing in this amazing resonant abbey, and the nuns are running like nothing else to get in there and listen to great singing in their beautiful church. So this is Hildegard von Bingen's, one of her early chants, and we've got our instruments here, we got it over there, and as soon as I get up there, it's you. Thanks for being here, and if you're a parent, thank you for your students. We love them. This next composer, we're kind of operating a little bit chronological at the very beginning, comes from the 1800s in Germany as well. This is Clara Wieck Schumann, probably sadly overshadowed by her husband. But Clara not only was an amazing writer, she was a composer, she was one of the most formidable concert pianists of all of Europe, had a 61-year performing career, and often is credited for helping her husband craft and write better. She'd play things and say, no, 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 make this better, fix this. And the two Schumanns also are, very importantly, are credited with launching the career of Johannes Brahms. So they were very, very influential throughout all of Europe, and this is just clearly evidence that she knew how to write a melody. Again, almost chronological order, but almost a contemporary as well. Again, this was a time when women were writing, but their names were left off. And this comes from an 1835 publication called Southern Harmony. There were many of these books, and they were shape note, and such an amazing revolution. Basically, we all know as notes on the page as being ovals, but this has triangles, and they all had different meanings. And it was meant to be more inclusive and to get more people singing, because these notes and the way they were lined up on the page was supposed to be easier than reading notes. I'm not a big fan of it yet. I'm not sure it's all that much easier, but boy, did these hymnals sell like hotcakes. But sadly, Matilda's music, her name was left off, even though the music was quite popular. She lived till about 1901, so she was just a little bit later than Clara Schumann. But this is Bound for the Promised Land. A completely different sound than what the other pieces you've heard as well.
Jordan's stormy banks I stand and cast a wishful eye to Canaan's fair and happy land where my possessions lie. I am bound for the promised land. I'm bound for the promised land. Oh, who will come and go with me? I am bound for the promised land.
Oh my goodness, the Boulanger sisters, where does one even begin? From Paris, teacher at the conservatory. It's hard to talk about one without talking about the other. I'll start with Nadia. Lived to the ripe old age of 92, and anybody who was anybody flocked, as a composer, flocked to Paris to study with her. Anybody from Aaron Copland to Burt Bacharach to George Walker, who we'll talk about later, to Quincy Jones. I mean, she could teach everybody, and she was absolutely amazing. But her younger sister, everybody said, was the more talented, and only lived to the age of 24. And you're going to hear Lily's Psalm 24. It's one of the fun parts of running a graduate program is I send these people out and go find things that nobody knows. Go to the library, find these things. And this was one of our doctoral students found this, got it published with Santa Barbara, and it's gotten a lot of publicity and lots of performances, as you could tell why. Pretty exciting piece.
The earth is
He shall receive the blessing from the Lord and righteousness from the God of his salvation.
This is the generation of them that seek after him, that seek thy face, O Jacob, thy face, O Lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be ye lift up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, yea, even lift them up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord of hosts, he is the King. The Lord, he is the King of glory. Jehovah, Jehovah, Jehovah.
Earlier, I briefly mentioned George Walker. We will be doing an entire concert of George Walker's music next month, commemorating the 100th anniversary year of his birth. Check the UNL School of Music website for more information on that. And it's not just choral music, music of all kinds. Great, great music. This next piece is by a Midwesterner, Elaine Hagenberg. What's really a kind of a fun fact, I've just been fun the last couple of years running into her all over the place, kind of running around incognito, being a parent, attending her kids' choir concerts. But what I really enjoy about her, after the kids went off to school, she says, I don't have anything to do. Let me see if I can compose something. And she has written for every major professional choral organization just about in the world, with all kinds of awards. But she started writing in her 30s, which I thought is just kind of really fun and kind of inspiring, that you don't necessarily have to be a child prodigy in order to get a lot of great music and create art. But this is Elaine Hagenberg's Oh Love.
Have courage, my soul, and let us journey on. Though the night is dark and I am far from home, thanks be to God, the morning light appears. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah. 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 The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah. 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 The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah.
And every once in a while, you can find some great pieces that are, and composers that are right underneath our nose. Kate Schrader is an alum of UNL, and this men's chorus, Varsity Men's Chorus, has been singing one of her pieces since I came here 24 years ago. And she also wrote another piece of music that another one of our choirs, Big Red Singers, uses as their traditional concert closer, which is the Nebraska hymn. So this is Kate Schrader's, and she's just kind of smart and clever. This is, I'm proud to say I'm from Nebraska.
I've seen this land of ours from high on Chimney Rock. I've seen it from the roads below. I've traveled east and west, I've traveled north and south, and from all that I've seen, I've come to know. I'm glad to say that I'm from Nebraska. I'm proud to say I'm from the Husker State, where the air's so clean, the sky's so blue, you'll know it when you're passing through Nebraska. That's my home state. On the rolling plains and valleys, the fields of wheat and corn, the farmer works to make a better way. He hears the meadow larks sing summers, he awakes each morn, and from the noonday dawn you'll hear him sing. You'll find the good life here in Nebraska, Nebraska.
Where's Paul? Grab Paul. Huge thanks to John Ross and the entire Westminster Pres family for allowing us in here this evening. We're trying to experiment a little bit as at some point they're going to start doing some renovations in Kimball and maybe even bulldozing Westbrook Music Building, which means we have to find some new concert homes. So we love it here, and we're so appreciative for the family here, the Westminster family, allowing us in. Thank you, and again, parents and friends, thank you for your students. We love them.